NASCAR heads to Darlington Raceway for its annual Throwback Weekend and all the different paint schemes from years past. And both Dale Jarrett and Jeff Burton will have cars on track this weekend with some of their old paint schemes. So, other than those honoring yours, because I know those will be your favorites this weekend, what are some of your favorite paint schemes from years past? And I'll go with you first, Jeff.
Well, I love the paint schemes that the Wood Brothers and Petty Enterprises have done, because they go, when they go back and do the paint schemes, they do them really close to how they were, and it brings back so many memories of great race car drivers, and particularly at Darlington. So you think about the Wood Brothers, David Pearson, he was the guy that you had to beat going to Darlington, and I think that drivers that consistently ran well at Darlington, I put them on a different level, just because I think Dale, Jarrett, and I both realize how difficult that racetrack is. So I love those paint schemes that just go back into history and remind drivers, especially our young fans, remind those fans of these drivers and give a little bit of history about them. And when you dig into David Pearson and learn about what he was and how good he was on the racetrack, and just what a fierce competitor he was. And listen, Richard Petty said he was the best he ever raced against, and Richard said he even might have been better than himself. So that's a huge compliment from the King. So anytime we can honor David Pearson at Darlington, I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, it's become such a special weekend. And gosh, when you bring up the Wood Brothers and David Pearson, you start talking about the best in the history at that racetrack. But just to see the teams, the drivers, the sponsors all buying in to make this a special weekend. And it's going to be even more special this coming weekend, before everything that's going on with the announcing of the 75 greatest drivers in NASCAR history. So all of this tying together makes it really fun. You look at all the paint schemes from the years past, just too many to choose and pick from all of that. As far as a favorite goes, I will have to say that this weekend, I'm really looking forward to seeing Ross Chastain's car, because he has that UPS on the hood of the car with their association with his sponsors there. To see that took me back to 2001, my first year with UPS, and having that there. I was able to win this spring race at Darlington. Didn't have the best car, but somehow found a way to beat Steve Park, who had dominated that race, and win there. So you think about that. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. is also running that, the Daytona 500 champion from this year. So for those guys to take the time and, with their teams to honor, means a lot to those of us that have been around the sport for a long time. There's two that I'm going to mention also that really set me back and made me think about other drivers and things. The paint scheme that Christopher Bell has, that honoring Matt Kenseth, is really cool looking to start with, but to honor that other Hall of Famer in Matt Kenseth really looks good. And Jeff, you're too modest to talk about and the one that's honoring you, and that's your son Harrison doing that. But if he can channel a little of your talent to drive that racetrack on Sunday afternoon, then he's going to have a great time driving that good-looking car.
So, Dale, I've got to ask you this. As you mentioned, Ross Chastain and Ricky Stenhouse Jr., both with paint schemes honoring your cars from the years past. So what happens if they get into an accident with each other?
Well, that's highly possible, as we've seen. But, I hope that doesn't happen. I hope we see them battling up front. I really think Ross is going to be in the mix. He's going to be in the middle of something. I don't know exactly what it'll be. But, I will say this. Ross took the time to call me the other day about it, and we talked about it. He said, was telling me how honored he was to do this. And, I just really appreciate a driver taking the time to do that.
And for Jeff, as Dale mentioned, Harrison Burton's running a car from scheme from you from 1999. The memories and just what does it mean to be able to have your son do that?
Well, listen, I'm really lucky. Both my kids have always been shown me a tremendous amount of respect, and I appreciate that. And Harrison going to the Wood Brothers and saying, "Hey, can we do this?" And then the Wood Brothers saying, "Yes, we like that idea." I mean, that collectively means a lot to me. I talked a little bit ago about how much the Wood Brothers mean to the history of this sport, and to see a Wood Brothers car, a 21 car with a paint scheme going back to a car that I ran at Darlington, that means a lot to me. With my son driving it, that's a whole nother level. So that is cool. But what fans really want to know is, DJ, did you ever race the truck? And that's really what everybody wants to know.
Yeah, yeah. You know, I did a commercial driving that thing. They had one modified that I could race or to drive over at Nashville. And yeah, it was a handful, but I actually did drive it there. So it was a lot of fun to do. They kept wanting me to go faster. And I said, when you get to the end of this commercial shoot that we're doing, I'll go faster because I'm going to crash if I go any faster. I'm not that talented.
Hi, I'm Parker Kligerman. For more access like this from Pit Road, be sure to click and subscribe to the Motorsports on NBC YouTube channel.